is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
We were enjoying a succulent meal with many glasses of the grape juice, of course, the red grape.
An American Express investigator followed a man he thought was one of Queensland's most wanted to a Valley restaurant.
There was a suspicious-looking character a couple of tables away, looking at us. And every time I'd turn, he'd put his head down and pop a dim sum into his gob.
Minutes later, police had the business surrounded, then sent in a delegation.
The police fell on the place. Come running in, even one of them had a gun in his hand, and I said, "What the devil's going on here? What do you want? Get up, you're under arrest, you're an international criminal." I said, "I'm just a poor, struggling artist. How dare you? Get up!" And they took me out, and I think there was all these TV cameras outside, and there it is. That's what you see on the internet now.
We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what? Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
We're supposed to be living in a democracy, and here they're dragging me out of a restaurant after enjoying halfway through a succulent Chinese meal. That's what I thought. Well, gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
Democracy Manifest.
And he didn't appreciate the way he was handled.
See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis!
It took 6 officers to restrain him. His major concern was the meal he'd left behind.
What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal?
Well, it was succulent, so I suppose it just flew into me head when when they were trying to put handcuffs on me.
Eventually, they had him in custody.
I believe that it's all to do with stolen credit cards.
They took me anyway. They took me down to the city watch house, and then they realised that I wasn't this international gangster. They didn't charge me with anything, so away I went. But ever since then, people have been putting this thing up there on the internet.
I understand that he has played small parts in numerous amateur theatre groups. He seems to be just a prolific false pretender.
But only hours after his arrest, the watch house granted him bail, leaving the police red-faced and empty-handed.
We are sincerely sorry that he obtained bail, but under this situation he was allowed to have bail.
And then they've told me that, no, we're sorry, we thought you were somebody else, and I'm not quite sure who they meant. Might have been some Hungarian chess player called Doza, and apparently he used to go into Chinese restaurants and dud them and flee without paying for the meal or something or other. But how would that make you an international criminal? I don't know. I still haven't found out. I'm not even interested in finding out. I'm too busy trying to do some paintings.
Edwards is also wanted for questioning in New South Wales over several forgery matters.
Jack, I'd love to know what you were thinking that day as you were hauled out of that restaurant. You saw me and my cameraman standing there. This is obviously very pre-set up by the police. What was going through your mind as you saw our cameras, and did the presence of our cameras make you turn on that wonderful theatrical performance that day?
I thought, well, here's an opportunity to prove.
Jake Karlson, who found the viral fame by declaring, "Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest," while resisting arrest outside a Chinese restaurant in Australia. According to a couple of reports, he has passed on at the age of 82. His family confirmed Karlson's passing in a statement, prompting outpouring of tributes online. Footage of Karlson's 1991 arrest, like you saw at the beginning of this video, in Brisbane became an internet sensation when it was uploaded in 2009, and it still endures as a meme, today, thanks to an immortal appeal of Karlson's dramatic words as several officers, struggled to force him onto the police car, including, what's the charge? Eating a meal, a succulent Chinese meal? Oh yes, I see that you know your judo well. Those are the words he was trying to rant as the officers tried to arrest him. Karlson passed on Wednesday, surrounded by his family, and they confirmed to the reporters, saying that he had battled a couple of health-related issues, including a systematic inflammatory response syndrome, SIRS, and they say Karlson may have been an alias name rather than his real name. It's believed that at a time it was a mistaken identity, that he was a drug addict who had just ran away and escaped from prison and stuff like that. But of course later they confirmed that he was innocent, and he actually himself has always maintained that he was innocent on that day in 1991 arrest over a credit card fraud at the China Sea restaurant. However, they say it was a case of mistaken identity, like I've told you, and they thought the officers thought he was an international gangster. According to his family, they say he walked a full and a colorful path, and despite the so many troubles thrown at him, he lived by his motto to keep on laughing. His family continued, based on the words his niece said, that he had spent the last 2 weeks in life in a hospital, and he had a few attempts, even to move out of the hospital, and he even pulled his cords out a couple of times and asked the people around him many times to sneak in his own pipe. His passing comes before actually there was a documentary that was being worked on about his lives that actually was named The Man Who Ate a Succulent Chinese Meal, and according to the guy who was behind this documentary, he has stated that they've lost an icon today, and of course so many people are still coming out on social media to pay their own condolences and also messages of sympathies. In this moment in time, all we can say is rest in power the king, and we pray for his family, friends, and everyone who knew Karlson. RIP to the legend.